Right, so we're just gonna kick off now. There's no more questions. Um, we're gonna kick off now, and first things first, we're gonna go over with. Um, we're gonna go over with what where we were left with last time. Um, if you realize the timeline is completely blank, all we've got is this short edit here, and this is supposedly the the introduction to the short film. So it's a technique where you can actually use in lots of short films, either short films or feature films, whichever you prefer. You can use this technique, and it really, really works. Is to keep your audience seated so that they don't get drifted away from the movie at the beginning of the film, because most film starts very, very slow and it builds up as it's a linear, and it's the protocol, it's the way that it has been done. Supposedly it's a rule that you can break. um, you've got where the film, you start the story very smoothly, very easily going, and then from there something happens, and then whatever happens is supposed to cause the action for the character, and then as the action is being caused, it builds up into obstacles that the character has to face, and then as the character is facing those obstacles, there's resolutions to those obstacles, and then it goes down as if it's all about to be resolved, and then something else happens, and then it creates another obstacle for the character, and the character has to be overcoming that obstacle, and then when he's overcome it, then you've got a resolution. So it's a linear format now. It's most movies are shot that way, and as an independent filmmaker, a new filmmaker, as a new filmmaker, I believe this technique will help a lot, especially if you just, for example, you're just about to premiere your first movie, or you're about to show your first short film, or better yet, if it's an ongoing thing, it's just a technique to actually get your audience seated. So if you start with the action, and then you kill the action, and then you start the linear format, that is very, very effective, and I believe hopefully some of you will incorporate it. Try it and see if it works for you. It works for me all of the time, so definitely I'm pretty sure you will have no problem with that as well. Um, Lastly, I would like to mention as well that Psychopathic Entity, which is my first feature film that I premiered in Ghana, and partly shot here in UK and partly shot in Ghana. About to premiere that right here in London in UK, and that will be around September. Date is not certain, it's not fixed yet, but a date will be fixed, so you get an idea of um, when it's to be premiered. So for those who are in UK, for those who are in London to be precise, would love to see this movie that has been spoken about so many times on the radio, online, posts on my page, and on Psychopathic Entity official page as well. If you have an interest that you want to see it, by all means, you can inbox me. Tickets will be available very, very soon, so you can prepare and plan yourself once the date is released. So you can prepare yourself for that private screening. Remember, it's a private screening, it's not a premiere for everyone to attend. So you will have to inbox me directly for a ticket. If not, um, you have to inbox me and secure a ticket so that we can reserve you a seat, as the place we're going to be screening does not hold a lot of people. So you definitely want to reserve your seat so that you can enjoy this short film, or this feature film that I actually put together. Another thing as well, I'm gonna add the link of that feature film right above this post, so you could actually click on that link above this post, and then you could actually see the trailer, have an idea of what the film is about, and just to quench your thirst a little. So it's called Psychopathic Entity, and you find it on top of this post saying Psychopathic Entity trailer. Just click on that link and enjoy it. Right, so that has been put up. If you look on top of this very post, you'll find the link, and it will actually say Psychopathic Entity trailer link below. If you click on that, that will take you to my YouTube page that you was querying about, thanks to Chin, and that will allow you to see the trailer of this film. It was entirely shot, directed and edited by me myself. So camera works, lighting, everything was done by me myself. So have a look at it, and obviously place your comments. It's important to me because we're all here to better our filmmaking. So what you say is very, very relevant to me. Let me see. I think we've got another question. Right, again, Chin is saying that the network is really bad, and hence the reason why I really wanted to be doing this live stream on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, because it's much clearer, it's much easier, and there is less buffer delays on there. However, this tutorial will be on my YouTube page, so you can catch it like an hour after the Facebook one is ended. It will be on the YouTube page. Right, so without further ado, we're going to quickly play through what we've got in terms of what we just discussed about the introduction, the action sequence introduction. We're just going to play through it quickly, and then we'll move forward from there. Right, so I'm not gonna explain this sequence again, but we've gone over it twice already. So after the action sequence, then we get a title, and then we get the actual beginning of the movie, the starting of the movie. So right now, I remember that we had an incident where the footages were all color corrected um, before um, actually editing. So if I delete the footages from the timeline, then automatically I lose the color correction. However, with Davinci Resolve, it allows me to keep copies of the edit, the color grade, right here on the left side. It allows me to keep that, so I've got references that in case I choose to recolor it, I can just grab the scene, the color for that scene, and just drop it onto that particular shot, and then I get exactly what I wanted. However, just to buy time, I'm not going to delete the timeline footages, so I'm just going to go ahead and still work with it as normal. We've got a little bit of the time syncing is a little bit off, so the audio sync, sorry, so we're just going to be correcting that. And remember, I'm gonna go very quiet in a moment, and I'm just gonna dive straight into the edits so I can concentrate on it, and then you can also try and edit faster than having to talk you through. So if there is anything you don't understand I'm doing, if there is any query or any question, go ahead and prompt me. I'll respond to that instead of me talking you right through. So that was simple. I've managed to sync up the audio all over again, and remember to always save as you're editing, because anything can happen. The computer can crash. In Africa there can be light off, so all of these things we take in consideration. So right, so let's start editing linear according to what the script said. So the script was saying that the students are just walking, and then we're not going to be using this at the moment because this is where the action starts. And also, just to remind you, I'm running about 4 softwares on this system whilst I'm doing the editing, so it kind of slows down the previewing, the playback, and that's normal to be expected. However, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have had any problem because I'm using a red Rocket graphics card on this system, so playing 4K footage is not a problem at all. But in this case, because of the live stream and the software that I'm using to do the live stream, it's all eating into it. So this is one of the reasons why we do save as you move forward. I think I mentioned it in the last tutorial that Davinci Resolve 14 is a beta version, so it's not 100% secured yet, and it will keep crashing, and this is what I'm having at the moment. However, if you don't want to face this problem, it's easier if you just go and download the Davinci Resolve 12.5, which is easier and it doesn't crash. So we're back online again. Let's continue with what we're doing. So I'm just bypassing all the color correction and the grading so that it will help in playing the footage a bit smoother for me.
So you girls are still in this. So you girls are still in this.
So what I'm doing is trying to make sense of what they're discussing right there. However, it's not relevant. It's not a scripted dialogue, so it's not really relevant as of now. But once the tutorial's over, I'll go through it and edit them as it should be edited.
Working on Facebook and Twitter. I mean, come on.
As you know.
Girls can do it.
So I get disconnected and reconnected. I'm facing problems with Facebook trying to live stream with the software that I'm using, and really it's a hustle. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this tutorial on YouTube. So yes, do go ahead and find the YouTube page. Use the psychopathic entity trailer link. Get on the YouTube page and subscribe, because very soon you will not find this tutorial on Facebook anymore. It will all be down on YouTube. So you definitely want to get prompted once we go online.
As you know.
Girls.
And what I'm doing is, instead of using the shortcuts key to do the edits, I'm using the regular way, so the normal way. For those who hasn't used Davinci Resolve before, or for those who want to see exactly what I'm doing, I'm just using the mouse to click here and there to do the edits. It's one of the reasons why it slows me down as well with this edit, but it's for your benefit so that you know exactly what I'm doing.
So you girls are still in this. Working on Facebook and Twitter. I mean, come on.
As you know.
So I'm gonna go silent now, and I'm gonna start getting audio feedback in terms of what I'm doing, so that we can get it done correctly. So if any questions, any confusion, anything you don't understand and you would like me to highlight or talk about it, just post it in the comments and I'll respond to it. So I'm off now.
Still in this. Working on Facebook and Twitter. I mean, come on.
As you know.
Girls are still in this.
I don't even understand you guys.
Are still in this.
So just quickly, in terms of the ambient sound, I think we've discussed this as well. We'll put all of that in place once the edit is completed, the same way we did with the beginning
You are crazy.
sequence, the action sequence. So at the moment, there won't be any continuity to the ambient sound, and it doesn't really help with the the continuity of the scenes as well. So if we do the ambient sound after we finish the edit, we will still be able to move things around for continuity reasons. So that will help a lot in terms of the sound continuity, the surrounding, the people in the background and stuff. So just keep tuned as we continue with this edit.
You are crazy. That, oh, oh, okay, okay, okay. So where are you guys right now? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Where are you guys right now? Okay, so let's meet at the usual junction. Okay, okay. Is Nadia with you? All right, okay. I'm on my way.
So another technique in editing is to stretch your scenes or to shorten your scenes, is to cut away some of the unnecessary bits. So, for example, let's say this whole scene here is quite long, and let's say if I had a cutaway scene or an establishment shot somewhere to cut away this scene, I would have splitted this scene into two and then put that one in between it quickly, and then we come back to the continuation of this scene. So coming back to the continuation, meaning the dialogue stops for a second, and then we come back, and then the dialogue continues from where it stopped. So that automatically, if I give you a typical example, let's split this scene into two, and let's move that aside, and then let's say this is a cutaway scene. We place it in between there. So if the dialogue stops right here, and it stops right here, and then it we play over this supposed cutaway shot, and then we come back to the dialogue again and continues from where it stopped, then automatically it stretches my shot, it stretches my scene, so it adds more time to your edit or to your the film that you're editing. um, and also, if you want to shorten it, when you put a cutaway scene in there, you don't come back to the continuation of where the dialogue stopped, but rather you continue from perhaps when he had finished talking and when he's walking away. So you leave the audience also in suspense in terms of what was discussed and things like that. So there are two ways of doing this. You don't obviously want to just place cutaway scenes in between shots, any shot just like that, and just try and extend or make the scene seem longer. So you use it at the right time. So that's one thing I wanted to highlight as we continue with the edit.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, so let's meet at the usual junction. Okay, okay. Is Nadia with you? All right, okay. I'm on my way.
So these are some of the challenges that you face as an editor. We use half of this scene to stretch this bit here um, whilst he was on the phone, to stretch it a little, and we seem to have a problem after he had discussed that he's on his way. After that, we don't have a cutaway scene, we don't have a long enough scene of the group walking together before he shows up. So we're going to be using the original scene for now, and then in between here we'll find something to cut it away with. We've got some pre cloud scenes or shots and stuff that we can easily put in here to block the scenes. So we'll get back to that once we're done with the whole edit. So we will just continue with the editing as if it's all fine, and when we finish we'll just come back and re-edit again. What you got to bear in mind is when we're editing, we don't just edit once and then finish the edit in one go. With me, a typical way of editing, I'll do the first rough cut and then edit, and then I'll come back again and then go through it again and reshuffle things around and then come back again. So I'll go over a typical edit about 3 times to make sure that I'm not missing anything, to make sure that there is no errors anywhere. And another thing as well, when you sit in front of the computer for so long and you're editing, you tend to miss stuff because your brain is so hot, you're so focused in what you're doing, and you're looking forward to finishing. So shutting down the computer, taking your mind off of that particular edit, and then taking a breath, what's got fresh air outside, coming back again another day, perhaps it's even better than just the same day. Coming back another day, playing through it again, you tend to find things that you actually missed as when you was editing. So I tend to do that 3 times before I complete an edit. And then also, if there is a second eye somewhere, if there is a friend or a partner that you did a short film with or the feature with, you call them to come and have a look when you're done with your third edit. And then obviously he might notice some things that you missed as well. So it helps a lot to work in a team instead of just doing everything by itself. One main thing that we tend to face, problems that we tend to face a lot, is the end credit, for example, when you're creating the end credit, you've got a whole list. People send their details to you and everything, and somehow, some way, you will still end up missing stuff. So those minor things are very, very important to make sure that you go over it at least several times, if not 3 times, to make sure that you're not missing anything. So let's just continue with our edit.
All right, okay. I'm on my way.
So as you see, here comes those critical thinking and decision making for an editor. Luckily, we've got this shot where he's just about getting off the phone and then running towards them. So this way, we could continue with this shot and make it and link it up to this as a wide establishment shot, where will make our audience think that he's actually seeing them, and then he's just running there to scare them. So that works. So we won't need an establishment shot here. So what we do is we'll shift this one and try and match it up with the ending of this previous shot, and then that means that we can still use this shot here and then cut this one short to where they start running away from him.
All right, okay. I'm on my way. Is Nadia with you? All right, okay. I'm on my way. Nadia with you? All right, okay. I'm on my way.
So as we see this character right here, the one on my far right, as I mentioned earlier, he puts his hands on his head, both his hands on his head. And then if we have a look at the scene before, the shot before, as he's running away, again, if you pay attention to him, he puts both of his hands on his head. So it's brilliant. The character name is Zach, and he executed that very, very well. It's not something that I planned or looked out for, but it helps a lot, and it makes this the reverse shot sync up very, very nicely. So that works as well. So what I was saying earlier about extending the scenes, here is in the typical example where he runs, he stops, and he's laughing. So we want to extend that a little bit longer. So I'm splitting that into two because we've got a reverse shot, a wider shot of him still running, and he stops. So we can cut that in there right there, and then shift those two around, and then continue with that scene or that shot. So this way I extend that particular scene a little bit longer. So all we got to do is just make sure obviously it makes sense in terms of the cuts. Alright, so just gonna have to cut it right about here. So as you see from right there and then, I've extended the scene with the same shot, literally showing the shots 3 times instead of just once on a continuous basis. So if you look at this shot here, the first shot here is the first shot where they start running, and then I bring the reverse shot of this and then bring back that first shot again where they started running, but a continuation. So I stop them as they're running right here, and then I wasted a little bit and continue towards the ending where they're running, and then I come back with the continuation of the reverse shot as they've run away. So this is just extending my scene right there and then. So I want to make sure that that shot flows and it doesn't just cut and then we're there. So I'm making sure I get the right endpoints that will allow it to continue. So perhaps I can shift this a little bit more, and then bring this back a bit more. So this is what I was talking about in the beginning of the tutorials, that the edit has to flow without breaking any point and confusing the audience. So in this case, he's running and laughing all over the place. So we're trying to fit an end point of that will flow with the beginning point of the next reverse shot. See, so as his head is down, that would work. I mean, I can pull it back a bit more where we've got a bit more of his movement right here. So we can use this, but then again, as I said, it's extending the scene. Do I really want the scene to be that long? That's what we got to keep in mind. So that would easily work. As you see, keeps his head down. We'll cut it rather here. Where he keeps his head down, and then the other shot, he's got his head down as well. So it will easily flow as he raises his head up. See, that easily works. Right, so let's save as we're editing, and let's move on to the next shot. So we can do a little trick here where he's standing there, and then just punching into a close-up shot.
Okay.
Okay. And another thing as well, as you're editing, you always want to try and get rid of any bad shots or any bad focusing points. So in this case, we've got him walking away. If you look at the shot after, or before, sorry, it's nicely shot, and then the shot after is out of focus. So I'll go with that frame before, and then cut away the part where he's out of focus. It's just one single frame, and it makes such a difference. I'm pretty sure Hollywood even does that, because focus pullers are not always 100%, but if you observe their movies, you realize that there's barely a shot out of focus. So being able to do the same is very effective for your movie. Right, so we've got here the reverse shot. He did not move. He's just standing still, and his friends are coming yelling towards him. So that means the part where he's walking away, we can easily stop that and have it where he's actually standing still. Again, he's got his head down here, and I believe the shot after that, we had a part where he puts his head down. So let's look at this. Yeah. So right there, we can just cut it right there and then link it up. And then again, we get that continuity going. I think we've had that twice. Let's see. Okay.
Huh? What was that for? Are you serious? Why did you do that? Come on, guys. You don't have to do this. What is wrong with you? Something could have happened to us.
Okay, so right, so as you can see here, the ending of this particular scene here ends in that same shot as the beginning of this scene right here, which means we've broken the continuity right there. So again, we're gonna have to be thinking smart, but then scrolling through the next shot, we've got a different angle, so we can easily use one of these shots or a little piece of it from the beginning and then reverse it, put that right in between this one, and then it links up to this. And a lot of times the audience will not notice that you've repeated a scene. So I believe there is a dialogue there, so we will have to find where it's a bit silent, just a few seconds, and then place that over. Let's see how it goes.
What's the meaning of that childish game you just played on us? It's not funny, you know. After waiting for you all this while, you just, I don't know what is such.
Didn't you think about that?
I don't know.
And you got nothing to say.
CJ, this is not funny. Life.
And you got nothing to say.
CJ, this is not funny. Life is so expensive, and I don't expect you to scare us this way. Shut up.
And the grave is free of charge.
What was that about? Huh? What was that for? Are you serious?
Why did you do that?
Come on, guys.
You don't have to do this.
What is wrong with you? Something could have happened to us.
Oh my God. CJ. CJ, this is not funny. Life. CJ, this is not funny. Life. CJ, this is not funny. CJ, what? Oh my gosh. CJ, this is not funny. CJ, what is the meaning of this child?
Something could have happened to us.
Oh my God. CJ, this is not funny. The meaning of this childish game. What is the meaning of this child? CJ, this is not funny. What is the meaning of this childish game you just played on us? We've been waiting for you for God knows how long, and you just planned this nonsensical thing on us.
Action.
What was the meaning of that childish game you just played on us? It's not funny, you know. After waiting for you all this while, you just, I don't know what is such.
Didn't you think about that?
I don't know.
And you got nothing to say.
Oh, shut up.
In the grave is free of charge. You can spend as
For fashioning you. If you get yourself in a mess.
only a mother could love.
What the hell do you mean? Oh, that's my line.
A face that only a mother could love.
What the hell do you mean?
I mean, you look ugly.
I'm not serious.
For fashioning you. If you get yourself in a mess.
Sorry for that.
I'm not serious.
Oh, me. And spend as many years as you want.
Oh, really?
What an imbecile you are.
Oh, me. You sounded like shit.
Oh. Oh. For fashioning you. If you get yourself in a mess. That's my line.
A face that only a mother could love.
What the hell do you mean?
I mean, you look ugly.
I'm not serious.
Yeah, don't worry.
We have to go.
Oh, come on,
But-
Nadia. Don't worry. We'll go. Okay.
come out from nowhere, just screaming.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. We have.
We have to go.
Oh, come on, yeah. Don't worry. We'll go.
You just
Okay.
come out from nowhere, just screaming. You insane, right? Come on.
Oh, man. Man.
What are you thinking about exams? You just wasted our time.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. We have been standing here. You just
Okay.
come out from nowhere. We're just screaming. You insane, right? Come on.
Oh, man.
What are you thinking about exams? You just wasted our time.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. We have been standing here for a while now. And you guys are just here arguing about something which is not going to benefit us. You know, we really have 45 arguing about something which is not going to benefit us.
We wasted our time.
Okay.
Can we just go?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. We have been standing here for a while now. And you guys are just here arguing about something which is not going to benefit.
All right.
Come on, guys. We have been waiting here for a while now. And you guys are just here arguing about something which is not going to benefit us. See,
Yeah.
come on, guys. We have been standing here for a while now. And you guys are just here arguing about something which is not going to benefit. We only have 45. And you guys are just here arguing about something which is not going to benefit us. Benefit us. We only have 45 minutes to our exam. Yeah, you're right. I think we should go.
You know what? You need not to be upset, yeah? Yeah.
We only have 45 minutes to our exam. Yeah, you're right. I think we should go.
You know what? You need not to be upset, yeah? You need not to be upset. Let's go. Right. Yeah. Not to be upset, yeah?
Hey, you don't want to come?
upset, yeah?
Hey, you don't want to come? What the hell do you mean?
Come on, guys.
So we have closed this scene right here, and now what we're going to be doing is bringing that action scene that we brought to the beginning back to um, the next space of the timeline. And obviously we're not just going to copy that and paste it in. It's going to be edited differently compared to the introduction, so we're just going to be putting it together now. I'm still open for questions. If there are any questions, do go ahead and ask, and I'll make sure I reply as it goes.
Ah, diga
Nine,
dia no ya
nine,
diga no fi.
nine.
So what I'm going to do right here is overlap or underlay rather the audio, as we just heard the kids arguing. I'll underlay that with the shot before this shot here, so we get a glimpse of something happening, and it's a perfect timing again for this character to actually look up and look at the kids as they are arguing. So let's try and make sense of that right now. If I place this right about here, let's see if it will add up.
Diga dia no ya diga no fi.
Nine.
Well, below.
Nine.
Ah, diga ah, diga dia no ya diga no fi.
Nine.
Well, below no jini.
Bomo one.
Oh yeah.
Bomo one.
So here's where the technique comes in, as that little bit that we've placed in front,
Bomo one.
we can now easily bring in the shot of the action sequence that we actually placed in the beginning of the film can now come in to make sense in terms of
Oh yeah.
how it all started, or what caused that, or what was happening in the beginning of this scene. So I don't want to use this. We could now easily, let's see.
Oh yeah, talk oh yeah.
Nine year. Bomo one.
Oh yeah. Ah, diga dia no ya diga no fi.
Nine.
Well, below no jini.
Bomo one.
Ah, diga dia no ya diga no fi.
Nine.
Well, below no jini.
Nine. Nine.
So it's perfect now, exactly where we want it.
Nine.
Right, so now that we've brought that back to make sense, obviously we will not need the sound themes and whatnot at the base of this scene because it's an ordinary scene. So we're going to remove all of that and then leave the original audio just to play through. So let's see what we've got so far. And so far we've got about 8 minutes worth of footage on our timeline. So let's see how the scene plays up so far.
working in Facebook, in Twitter. I mean, come on.
Everything. Instagram.
As you know
mention
them.
Yeah.
I don't even understand you guys. You should be
Why
thinking
should you be-
about the exams.
Come on.
Your Facebook.
You are crazy. Oh, oh, okay, okay, okay. So where are you guys right now? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, so let's meet at the usual junction. Okay, okay. Is Nadia with you? All right, okay. I'm on my way.
What was that about? Huh? What was that for? Are you serious?
Why did you do that?
Ah,
Come on, guys.
you don't have to do this.
What is wrong with you? Something could have happened to us.
Oh my God. CJ, this is not funny. What is the meaning of this childish game you just played on us? We've been waiting for you for God knows how long. And you just planned this nonsensical thing on us.
Do you even
It's
think
not funny, you know.
And
Do you even think about it?
Why did
CJ.
you do that?
What is the meaning of that? Listen,
Scared us.
it is never funny. Never funny. Life is so expensive, and I don't expect you to do this to us.
And the grave is free of charge. You can spend as many years as you want.
Oh, really?
What an imbecile you are.
Oh, me. You sounded like shit.
Oh, that's my line.
A face that only a mother could love.
What the hell do you mean?
I mean, you look ugly.
I'm not serious.
Sam.
Yeah, don't worry. High five.
Come on. Guys, we have to go. Say something
We
on
have
this
to
go.
go,
Say something. We have to go.
Oh, come on,
But-
Nadia. Don't worry. We'll go.
You just
Okay.
come out from nowhere, just screaming. You know, you're insane, right? Come on.
Oh, man.
We're thinking about exams here. You just wasted our time.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. We have been standing here for a while now. And you guys are just here arguing about something which is not going to benefit us. We only have 45 minutes to our exam. Yeah, you're right. I think we should go.
You know what? You need not to be upset, yeah?
Hey, you don't want to come?
Ah, jega biya no ya jega no fi.
Nine!
Bo be ro ju no ju.
Bomo Oduom. Iyo boete.
Ah, jega biya no ju ama tware lo twa.
Iyo bofo.
Wa
No change, no change.
mo ye be ko be.
Iyo bofo.
Oye min min fo.
4.
Ni o ko na ebotem. Ah, jega ni e kan ko na ebotem. Ama tware lo twa ni.
So right about here is where we get the establishment shot of where this scene is taking place. So this comes in from here, and it's going to be causing that whole chase and everything else. So let's quickly place that in place. I think we've got about 10 minutes left. We've got about 10 minutes left before we actually finish with this tutorial. So this scene will cut here, and then obviously the chase happens right after. So we're not going to waste that chase. We're going to be selecting it on its own and grouping it as a scene on its own, and then we can shift it around and then start building up the scene for this location. And then when we're done, we can once the chase starts, we can actually bring the edited chase back into the shot.
I'm a child of you.
Me, well.
I'm a child of you.
Me, well.
And another hint as well, when you're shooting, pay attention at your surrounding. At least have one or two extras to be able to wipe the screen, or to be able to be active, so that it's not all just random people on the streets, especially when you're shooting outdoors. It's not just random people around that are staring at the camera and stuff. So in this case, if you see there is no one on the side here, it's completely empty. There's a woman standing there and looking. So in this case, let's say she's just looking away or whatever, and the scene will be very boring if nothing is happening. These guys are just walking onto the shot. So it's nice to implement some extra. So if you have a look on the left hand side here, as I'm playing frame by frame, you realize that they're coming into character, and they're filling up the space. So in this case, I'll scroll through it. You see that as they are coming in, the teenagers or the students are coming in, you see the other two girls as well coming onto the left hand side, just to create a more atmospheric scene. You see, so they're playing in the background. The man that was cleaning the grills, he's in the background as well, doing what he needs to do. So here's where everything starts sparking. I think we took this about 3 or 4 times because we were struggling with the lead character Sam to block the boys from playing their game, which causes the problem. So let's see if this is the right shot that we were looking for. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that could possibly be it. And we've got a close-up of what happened when he actually leaves this one here. We've got a close-up of him actually stepping in the pot, in the hole. Let's see if we've got that. Right, so we can always come back to that and look for it. However, let's link that back up again. We don't need any of these for now. Save as you're editing.
Oh, sorry, come on.
Come on. Say sorry.
Oh, come on, it's okay, stop. He just said sorry.
Oh,
Hey, what is wrong with you? Hey,
what is that?
stop it. Go.
So we took a couple of that scene. Let's see which one works best, which one is more effective. Already think this looks much better.
Here, take that phone. Take that phone here.
Oh, it's okay.
Just tell him you are
Oh,
sorry.
what is that? Oh, is it? I don't want you to do something like that.
Yeah, definitely. This scene is much better than the first one, so we're gonna use that one. As funny as it sounds, Sam didn't take his time in slapping that little boy. That little boy really, really got slapped, and he is a really, really good character. He's really, really good at what he does. It was his first time in front of the camera acting, and he did amazingly well. I didn't even have to tell him what to do. He knew what he was doing. He knew the sequence, and he was really, really on point. And he took the slap like a man, or rather like a boy. It was really, really good. I'm definitely looking forward to working with him when I get back.
What is that?
Boy, you are sorry.
What is it? What is wrong with you?
So we actually have the close-up right here, what I was looking for. So we're gonna find a spot and place it in between that long shot, just so that.
You like
So I think he steps on the pot right about here. So we can bring that in and then place it right about here. So it's a different angle and it'll work. Let's see how that sounds like in terms of the dialogues.
wrong with you? Ah,
What is wrong with you?
About that.
you like you.
I don't know what's on here. You know about that near me.
Sorry. Are you okay?
You like talking
You're
too much.
sorry.
Ah,
You like what's on here. You know about that near me.
oh, it's okay. Ah, just apologize to him and let's go.
Just tell him you're sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Ah, just apologize to him and let's go.
Just tell him you're sorry.
Just stop that. Ah, yes. Wrong with you? Ah, wrong. Wrong with you? Ah,
What is wrong with you?
About that.
you like you.
I don't know what's on here. You know about that near me.
You're sorry, okay?
You like talking
You're
too much.
sorry.
Ah,
You like what's on here. You know about that near me.
oh, it's okay. Ah, just apologize to him and let's go.
You're sorry. Just tell him you're sorry.
Ah, just apologize to him and let's go.
Okay.
You don't know what's on here.
Just apologize and let's go.
Just tell him you're
Oh,
sorry.
what is that? Wrong with you? Ah,
What is wrong with you?
About that.
you like you.
I don't know what's on here. You know about that near me.
You're sorry, okay?
You like talking
You're
too much.
sorry.
Ah,
You like what's on here. You know about that near me.
oh, it's okay. Ah, just apologize to him and let's go.
Okay.
You don't know what's on here.
Just apologize and let's go.
Just tell him you're
Oh,
sorry.
what is that? Oh, it's No, it's okay. Just apologize to him and let's go.
Okay.
Just apologize and let's go.
Tell him you're sorry. Tell him you're sorry.
What is that? Oh, is it? I don't want you to.
Do you have to slap him?
No, it's okay. What's wrong with you? Come on. Do you have to do that?
You had just said why you're sorry.
Come on. Do you have to do that?
You had just said why you're sorry.
Let's go.
Right, so this is how far we've gotten. The tutorial time is up. It's 1:10. We've had a bit more time today, and I believe next week we will do the same. We will start an hour earlier, so it gives us a little bit more time, and hopefully next week we should be able to finish this short film edit. So if we quickly browse through what we've got, let's see how that works out. Let's see.
You can be a no, I'm a child. Oh, you mean me for? You're going to put him. I think you be a con. Going to put him. I'm a child. You bring him.
Working on Facebook, in Twitter, I mean, come on.
Everything. Instagram.
As you know them.
I don't even understand you guys. You should be
Why
thinking
should you be-
about the instance.
Come on.
Your Facebook page.
You are crazy. Oh, oh, okay, okay, okay. So where are you guys right now? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, so let's meet at the usual junction. Okay, okay. Is Nadia with you? All right, okay. I'm on my way.
What was that about? Huh? What was that for? Are you serious?
Why did you do that?
Ah,
Come on, guys.
you don't have to do this.
What is wrong with you? Something could have happened to us.
CJ, this is not funny. What is the meaning of this childish game you just played on us? We've been waiting for you for God knows how long, and you just planned this nonsensical thing on us.
Do you even
It's
think
not funny, you know.
And
Do you even think about it?
Why did
CJ,
you do that?
what is the meaning of that? Listen,
Say that.
it is never funny. Never funny. Life is so expensive, and I don't expect you to do this to us.
Ooh. And the grave is free of charge. You can spend as many years as you want.
Oh, really?
What an imbecile you are.
Oh, man. You sounded like shit.
Oh, that's my line.
A face that only a mother could love.
What the hell do you mean?
I mean, you look ugly.
I'm not serious.
Sam.
Yeah, don't worry. High five.
Come on. Guys, we have to go. Say something on this go. Say something. We have to go.
Oh, come on, Nadia. Don't worry. We'll go.
You just come out from nowhere, just screaming insane, right?
Oh man.
We're thinking about exams here. You just wasted our time.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. We have been standing here for a while now. And you guys are just here arguing about something which is not going to benefit us. We only have 45 minutes to our exam.
Yeah, you're right. I think we should go.
You know what? You need not to be upset, yeah?
Hey, you don't want to come?
Ah, jega biya no ya jega no fi.
Nine!
Wa be ro ju no ji.
Momo Duom. You're waiting.
Ah, jega biya no ju ama tware lo ju.
You're four.
Wa.
No change, no change.
Mo ye be ko be.
You're four.
Oye min ni fo.
Four!
Ni o ko na botem. Ah, jega ni bi e kan. Ko na botem. Ama tware lo ju. Iye bo enyo.
Me, you're
You like to.
I don't want to go twani e no ba na ni mi.
You're sorry, okay?
You like talking
You're
too much.
sorry.
So la go twani e no ba na ni mi.
Oh, it's okay. Just apologize to him and let's go.
Okay, okay.
So you go na go twani e no ba na.
It's okay.
Just apologize and let's go.
Sorry.
So
Tell him you're sorry.
What is that? Oh, is it? You don't want to do something like that.
Do you have to slap him?
No, it's okay. Come on. Do you have to do that?
You have just why you're sorry.
Let's go.
Hey!
So as you can see, we've gotten quite a bit now. Gotten quite far. So we will continue with the editing next week, and hopefully we've all somewhat learned something from this tutorial. And again, if there is any questions, please do go ahead and ask. Just place it in the comment below, and it will be responded to very soon. And also, if there is any specific thing that you want me to cover on the next tutorial, supposedly might be the last to finish this short film, and I will try and cover that as well whilst we're at it. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week. Peace.